When you start up the software, you can choose whether to create a new scene or to open an older one. Let's go through the first case together, creating a new scene. In the File drop-down menu, click on New Scene. A new window will open. Before getting to the heart of the software and starting your new project, 3 successive windows will open up. The first window is about commercial information. You will be able to give a name to your new project. Very useful if you have several different versions, you'll be able to quickly identify each one. Choose the subject, kitchen, bathroom, cleaning. Enter a decision week. Enter a deadline of validity for the quote to come. This will appear when editing the quote. Plan a delivery and installation date. Establish a bill book. This will also appear on the quote and the purchase order. If you want, you can choose to set up a unique scenario for all your future orders. To do so, choose the percentages asked for at each step of the completion of the project and then click Default. This scenario will then be applied on every project to come. You can modify it at any time by clicking on Information in the Scene drop-down menu. The second part of this business information window is to do with the client and offers the possibility to provide the address, the email address, and telephone numbers. You can also select the language of work, the currency, the applicable VAT rate, and you can also select or deselect the eco-participation on electric household appliances and eco-participation on furniture depending on your country. The more precise information you give in this window, the more precise your future documents will be. However, only the name field, or company field, depending on what kind of clients you have, is necessary to fill in. The rest of the fields are optional. Once you have filled in the information, you can click on OK. Now, a second window will pop up to do with the generic finishes of the scene. In other words, the catalogue that you want to work with, the choice of model, the finishes, and options linked to the previous 2 choices. As you are putting in your various choices and selections, visuals will come up so that you can verify them. The system will only suggest options that exist in the catalogue. If you are used to working with catalogue references, then you can enter them here. Clicking the button just on the right will validate the references you have entered. Once your choices have been entered, you can click on OK. Finally, the last window will open, which has to do with the dimensions of the scene. In this window, you can define the dimensions of your work area. Be careful, these dimensions are important because they will determine how the view angles are managed and the final overall photorealism. Try to stick to reality as much as possible. For example, if you are planning to draw the kitchen and the dining room, enter the total dimensions of these 2 rooms combined. The altitude corresponds to the altitude of the walls. You now have the option of putting the walls in. By clicking on the squares on the width, the walls will be drawn. If you don't click on the squares, your scene won't have any walls and you will be free to put them in manually as you please, which lets you deal with particularities like angles superior to 90 degrees or underslopes. Don't hesitate to check out our walls tutorial to find out how to place walls outside of this window. Finally, you can choose whether or not to put in the floor and the ceiling at this stage. Once again, you can choose to not put them in now and instead do it later. In that case, our tutorial on how to place the floor and ceiling will help you out. Click on OK to validate your selections. Now we are back at the software's main window, ready to set up a new project.